Network programming begins in 1 minute.
It's time for the Nebraska Football Coaches Show. Proudly brought to you by Channel. Channel Seedsman placed product to perform across Nebraska. Get expert advice that yields results at channel.com.
Irvin off to the left of Heinrich, who's in the gun. Two to the near side. Snap back, play action, back to throw. Wide open down the middle field, pass, caught, touchdown. Thomas Faboni, for the second straight week, has found the end zone. Your center's Arbor, Kemp in motion. They turn, they hand it off to Billy Kemp around the left side. Comes back to the 5, he's in, touchdown. Billy Kemp in there for 6 points. Kaliak Manis, 2 on the play clock, just gets it off. Back to throw. Huskers send the blitz. They get after him. Nash gets a sack. Back at the 30-yard line. Huskers second sack of the drive. Stretch play left to Grant. Anthony bounces to the outside of the 10 and the 5. He is in. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Here's your host, Greg Sharpe, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you. Welcome to our football show for the week. Delighted to have defensive backs coach Evan Cooper with us. I'm talking about Marcus Buford, Mario Buford earlier. Coach, good to have you with us. Congratulations. Back-to-back wins. That's got to feel pretty good, right?
Yeah. You love the wins, you know. Hard to come by, so we enjoy them.
How has that helped maybe the spirit of the guys? Have you noticed a little bit more balance? I mean, because sometimes you try to get back up off of a loss, but it's got to help, doesn't it, to put a W on the board?
Yeah, you always feel way better with a W, so it's been good this week.
How do you feel like your group has performed in the first 4 games?
It's been a mixed bag. You know, we've done some good things. We've done some things that we need to correct. I feel like the group is attacking, you know, still trying to get better every day. So that's been good for me. It's been a delight for me. So that's been good.
You and I have talked a couple times since you came on board last December. You really enjoyed this room. I mean, these are a group of guys you've really enjoyed being around.
Yeah. Each one of them, they have like a different, let me see, I have to take a different approach to them.
Yeah.
To each one of them, they have their own personalities, but I love that group. I love it. Like, those guys work hard, man. You got a bunch of good humans that love football and want to be great, so it's always easy. It's an easy group to coach.
Coach has been adamant that he's loved what he's seen from the defense. He's wanting a few more takeaways. How do you coach that? How do you work on that in practice? Is it just about recognizing things? How can you, as a defensive backs coach, kind of convey that to your guys and make some of those things start happening?
Yeah. The funny thing about turnovers is they kind of come and go in like
right.
droves. Like, you know, they just kind of come. A lot of the times, especially interceptions, you got to kind of be lucky sometimes. I think we drill the right things and talk about the right things and measure the right things. So I think we'll be able to get some turnovers here soon.
You and I talked before we started the show tonight that Quentin's been so close in each of the last 2 games. One, the foot was just out of bounds, and then that simultaneous possession with the wide receiver of the day. He has not had a pick as a Husker, and this is a tremendous football player. It's just a matter of time, isn't it?
No, it's just a matter of time. You know, I expect him to get his first one pretty soon. I always joke with him, like, he's not living right. He's got to live right. He's got to put 20 more minutes in this film room or something. But I'm just kidding. But it'll come. You know, he's been locked in since I've gotten here. So it'll come.
I think a lot of people around the conference recognize his talents.
Yeah.
This is one of the better DBs in the Big Ten Conference, and I think you picked up on that pretty early.
Yeah. I don't think it's limited to the conference. I think he's one of the best in the nation. You know, he's rarely getting targeted. You know, He's our guy. Like, he's our flag carrier back there. So I'm excited to see what he can do going forward. Like you say, I think his interceptions and the turnovers, I think they'll come soon.
Let's go to the other side of the field, and Malcolm Hartzog has been the mainstay on that side for you. How about his progress? I know he's a joy to coach. Every coach I've talked to just said, man, if I had a bunch of Malcolm Hartzogs, we'd be in great shape. How well is Malcolm playing?
Yeah, he's coming along. He's competing. You know, he's a really good player in his own right. And just every day, you know, what you get from Malcolm every day is somebody trying to get better. So I can live with that. I'm excited about his progress. I'm happy where he is right now. You know, he's very early in his career still. He's got some growth to do, but he's going to be a good one.
You've been rotating Tommy Hill, and then Coach Rule yesterday said, well, we're splitting time with Tommy, offense, defense.
Yeah.
That's a juggling act. That's a lot on one young guy, isn't it, to kind of stay up with both sides of the ball?
Yeah. Tommy is one of those unique talents. He can literally do anything that either of those two positions, you know, entail. It's just a matter of the timing at receiver and getting on the same page with the quarterbacks. And at DB, he's blossoming. Like he's made a couple plays. You know, I try not to celebrate like the wild plays with him because he's a wild talent. It's just a consistent, everyday grind that it takes to be a DB. It's hard to play DB, and he's coming around. He is.
Evan Cooper with us. He's our coach for the hour. If you want to fire off a text, 402-413-2400. We'll pass those along to the coach. Huskers getting ready for the Michigan Wolverines Saturday afternoon at 2:30. Also, you and I were talking before the show began tonight. I think the two safeties, Brown and Singleton, have just been fantastic for you. And just the progress that those two guys have made since you guys took over as their coaches is remarkable. Talk about what you've seen from Omar and Deshaun through the first 4 games.
Yeah, I mean, Deshaun has decided that he wants to be a great player. Like that's just it for him. He will not be denied. If you look at him in meetings, he's taking every note. He's staring at me eye to eye. Like there is no time where you can see him drift off or any of that. Not for any of those guys, to be honest, but he just decided to be great and put in the time and the effort and the stuff in the weight room and that kind of stuff. And it's showing. He's a good example for the guys, you know, trying to make that leap. He just did it. He just decided to be that guy.
Would you say he's the most physical guy in your room? I mean, he's got to be right there. Some of the hits he has put on have been really impressive.
Oh, man. To be honest, I think we have a pretty physical room. Like those guys, you know, they're not really backing down from anything. That's just the culture of that room. And he is a physical guy. You can see it show up. I think Gift's a physical guy, too. You know, I've seen him get off O-line block, knock O-lineman down and make the tackle and things of that nature. You kind of lose some of that with Malcolm and Q because you think they're corners and they weigh 185 pounds, but those guys get in there, too, now. But, yeah, he's a pretty physical guy.
And let's go to Omar next. Had the pick in the Minnesota game, which had to be so fun for him. He's from that area, got to go back home. He probably had a bunch of family and friends at the stadium, and it was a huge pick at that point in the game. Just talk about the progress you've seen from Omar.
Yeah, Omar is another one of those uniquely talented guys, you know, and he's just turning his talents into, like, skill, you know. It's not just fast, athletic. It's more like my technique is right and my eyes are right. And, you know, he kind of just always gets his hand on the ball. Like that's a unique skill set that not everyone has, and he has that. So it's been showing up. He's also really physical. Also, he's put a couple guys on the ground that's trying to block him, like tight ends, big tight ends, receivers. So I'm happy with his progress. He's another guy who just decided he wanted to be a good player. So it's been good. You
mentioned Isaac Gifford had the pick the other night. And I think he ran over and handed the football to Coach Rural.
Yeah.
That was kind of a cool little moment to see him do that. I know he has been a guy that's been pretty consistent for you all from spring through the summer workouts through fall, that he's just kind of there every day, ready to put the work in.
Yeah, Giff is the same guy every day. And I don't know if he started that way in his career, but for me, since I met him, he's the same exact guy every day. And I talk to people. I've said this before, but like I could see the light flickering early in spring ball, and then it clicked, and it's been a floodlight since. And again, it's a pretty good example for those other guys, just to see his improvement, and this is how you do it. You want to be great, go be great every day. He's been great. He's been great for my room. He's a leader in that room. He sets the standard. You know, actually, I set the standard. He kind of raises the standard. So I'm pleased with him. I'm happy to have him.
We're seeing Lynham get some snaps for you in the secondary as well. And I go back, you and I sat down in the summer and talked about this group, and we went through a bunch of names, and at the end we were like, oh, man, we didn't mention him. But he's finding his way on the field here with this football team. Yeah,
I actually apologized to him. I should have played him more. Like, all he does is play hard. He does his job. He goes down on special teams, makes one of the best tackles on punt. He just kind of does it. And again, he decided to be great this summer. He was in the building at 5 o'clock working on his technique, and he made elite lists a couple times, and he just decided to be a good player. So it's fun watching him now.
You mentioned special teams. Every game, it seems like Phelan Sanford's making a play on special teams, and I know he's rotated some in on defense. But like last week, he made a good tackle on special teams. Every week, he finds a way to impact the game. Down to punt one time at the 1 or 2 yard line. Mm-hmm. You got to appreciate guys like that too.
Absolutely. Like, Phelan Sanford would die for this university. He would die for this football team. He would die for that group. And what he exemplifies is exactly what I want the group to be. He's a lunch pail guy. He's actually very athletic. You know, he just hasn't had a lot of experience at DB. But you can see his athleticism, his speed, and all of that kind of stuff on special teams. And he's working his way to become a really good DB also.
So much attention right now, Coach, has been about the run defense and #1 in the country with what you've done to the first 4 games. How big of an impact do you think your guys have had in that? Everybody thinks about linebackers and the front 7 or 8 guys. But obviously when you're putting up those kind of numbers against the run, your group's also contributing to that too, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, you know, good offenses try to get DBs to tackle. You know, that's kind of how it goes. And we've been doing a pretty good job in that category. Showing up in the run, you can see a bunch of times where those guys, you know, get downhill. We have 5 guys on the field. My room has 5 people on the field, so they'll have to go in and tackle. I'm pleased with that area. You know, I don't ever have a problem with anybody turning anything down physically or any of that kind of stuff. So that group is what I want them to look like. That's what I wanted to look like.
Last week you faced that spread offense, the Mike Leach type style with Cumbie actually playing for Coach Leach at Texas Tech, where they try to get you out in space. I couldn't believe some of the splits they have. They're almost to the sidelines, which is, I guess, in trying to make it one-on-one with your guys out in the flat, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was one of the keys to victory in that room, you know, win the perimeter and make tackles and get off blocks, and I think they did a pretty good job. You know, we had a couple, 1 or 2 missed tackles, you know, but for the most part, I think we did a pretty good job against that team. That team was a good team. They had pretty good athletes. They were tough, hard to tackle. Those guys, that's a pretty good team.
That Smoke Harris kid's about as good as kind of a slot guy you're going to see all year.
Yeah. He's one of the best in the country. Punt return, kick return, slot guys, yards after catch. He's a pretty good player.
I'm sure, kind of knowing your group a little bit, they were ready for that challenge. I'm sure they were ready to step on the field and test themselves Saturday against those guys.
I don't have to do much motivating for that group. That group is internally motivated, and a lot of it comes from Gifford. And like, it's a veteran group, you know. Maybe they don't have all the game time experience, but it's an older group, and they've seen it. You know, those guys want to win.
What took place during the weather delay? What did you guys go back to? Did some guys eat a little bit? I mean, it's been a while probably since they've had any food.
Yeah.
You didn't know how long it was going to be. What was that like?
That was actually my first time. That was my first weather delay during the game. I had a couple games pushed back or whatever, but it was, like you said, eating.
Yeah.
You know, just going over a couple things, letting them get off their feet. And, you know, those guys were pretty anxious. You know, they were ready to get back on the field, but, you know, time is the time. So just got off their feet, hydrated, that kind of stuff.
All right. It's not a bad locker room to go back to, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've not even been over there yet, Coach, but everybody who's just said, they just say, wow. Yeah. Wow, it's unbelievable.
Do yourself a favor and go.
Well, I'm not sure Susan will let me in over there. But
I'll let you in. VIP with me.
So how, I mean, obviously you've had a couple home games. You've had some prospective student-athletes on campus. Their eyes have to be bug eyes when they walk in there. I would think it's got to help on the recruiting trail.
Yeah, no, it's one of those. It's one of the top facilities in the country. You know, I visited a bunch of facilities and pro days, going out and some of the top places, and this is right along with that. And it's not even fully done yet, but it is going to be state of the art when it is.
I think back to that day in August when Coach walked him down there and let him run in there. The joy on their face to see what it looked like.
Yeah.
Just pretty cool stuff.
Those guys deserve it, man. They work hard, you know, so it's good to have a home that's that nice. So.
Coach Cooper's with us till the top of the hour. If you want to be a part of it, fire off a text. I see a couple coming in. We'll get to some of those here in the next segment. 402-413-2400. That is our Woodhouse Auto Family Hotline. They are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. More with the coach coming up.
Greetings, human neighbor.
Hey, Zendar. I brought you a little gift for suggesting Nebraska Pick 5 from the Nebraska Lottery. It's a great game.
Affirmative. Since the Pick 5 jackpot grows by $10,000 each time it is not won, your enthusiasm is logical. However, no gratuity is required.
You sure? It's 10 gallons of wiper fluid.
I have reconsidered. Would you care to help Marlex and I consume it?
No, I'm good.
Nebraska Pick 5 top prize odds 1 in 658,000.
There's room at the table, saving you money on every gallon at a CVA fuel site. Central Valley Ag offers a 5-cent per gallon discount at the pump to CVA fuel card holders. Now, for a limited time, get a 5-cent discount and be entered to win 2 VIP tickets to a Husker football game when you get a new or additional CVA fuel card. Sign up to win at CVAcoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
There's no community like a Cenex community. And that's why every Cenex store is so proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. Your local Cenex doesn't just work in your town, it lives there. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
There's a call on the field for a quality seed specific to where you farm. Make the right call with Prairie Valley. With local research in 8 regions throughout Nebraska, Prairie Valley performs with their locally specific hybrids and varieties while achieving the highest quality and yield. No matter where you farm in Nebraska, Prairie Valley has the seed for where you are. Find a local dealer and learn more about the seed for where you are at prairievalleyseeds.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At CHI Health Clinic, we believe healthcare should be personal because knowing your provider personally makes appointments more comfortable, more productive, and more meaningful to your overall health. Get matched with a primary care provider based on your personality and lifestyle using CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match. Take the survey at myprovidermatch.com to find the right provider for you. Getting healthier starts by getting personal at CHI Health Clinic.
There are a lot of rates out there, and it can be tough to find the right one. Well, let's make it easy. With FNBO's special offer CD of 5.5% APY for 3, 7, or 17 months, you can earn more, save more, and do more. That's 5.5% annual percentage yield for 3, 7, or 17 months at your nearest FNBO location with a minimum deposit of $500 and an FNBO Premier checking account. So stop on by and give your savings a great big boost with the Great Big Small Bank. FNBO, member FDIC.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with JTech Solar. JTech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. JTech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Is your garbage disposal not disposing? You had one job. Drains backing up can cause a horrible smell in a home, damaged pipes, and so much more. Some signs that your garbage disposal may be going out include frequent clogs, abnormal and louder noises than normal, or water is leaking from the bottom, just to name a few. John Henry's is here to take care of all the pipes and drains in your home. Call today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates may apply and may vary by carrier.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. It's our football show for the week. Evan Cooper, Husker defensive backs coach, with us until the top of the hour. If you want to fire off a text, love to hear from you at 402-413-2400. Let's go back to Texas here, Coach. Jeremy says, Coach, great job on defense so far. What's the deal with players wearing their mouthpieces hanging from their mask and not in their mouth? It's been a common thing for the last couple of years. Seems to only be happening to DBs and wide receivers.
I could not answer that question. I don't know. It's gotten to the point where I said, well, just wear two. You can wear the one hanging and just put one in your eye. I don't know. It's like that in the NFL, too. Like, it's all over the place.
They're all putting it right there.
Yeah, just DBs. I guess they want to communicate. You can't. I don't know. I don't know that answer. I'm sorry. I'll do some research.
We'll have Jessica ask one of the players.
Yeah.
And Steph Curry does that, too. He always keeps it out of his mouth. Our coach also wanted to know what are your thoughts of the tunnel walk and being in the Sea of Red for a couple home games?
Man, it's been amazing. The experiences that I've had, on the sideline against Northern Illinois, I had to take my coach hat off and put my college football fan hat on. Just take that moment in. It was amazing. So it's been a delight for me. It's something to look forward to on Saturday home games.
We've heard for a long time that if you can get a prospective student athlete on campus on a game day, it's pretty hard for them to say no to that.
Yeah, it would be hard for anybody to say no to that. This is one of the best environments that college football has to offer. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
Pretty cool.
It really is.
All right. Buford has been out. Coach said a week or so ago he's hoping maybe you guys can get him back to the point where he could use his 4 games this year. Give us an update. Is he doing much with you right now, and is he at least in the room and watching film? What's going on with him?
Yeah, I give him. He does watch film with us, and I give him small tasks like watch a certain protection or watch a certain route. We've been giving him small doses. I think he's coming along pretty. In a good way, and we just don't want to rush him, not for us, but for him. You got to make sure it's right, because if you rush those things, the long-term effect can be deadly, damaging.
You've been able to mix in some guys. Kobe Bretz is a young guy that's hit the field a couple times this year. We really haven't seen Kobe much in his young Husker career. What's he doing to get some of those snaps? What's he doing to earn that?
Yeah, he's earning them. I'm not really like the charity guy. I don't really give out reps just to give them out. Like, I would be ashamed of myself if I put guys out there who didn't earn it when I'm coaching guys like Isaac Gifford and Sean Singleton. And those guys who really every single day pour their entire lives into being a good football player for Nebraska, So those guys have to earn it, and Kobe's earning it. He's one of those guys who, as he comes up through the ranks and he's getting his experience up, I think he's going to pay off big dividends for him.
He showed some good leadership abilities a year ago when he was out there before the injury. Can you pick up on stuff like that even though he's not on the practice field with you?
Yeah, that's the whether he's a good football player at this point or he messes up or whatever, those innate leadership qualities, you can see those really early on. He has them. He's been doing all the things that I need him to do to earn the group's trust to go out and play. And his role will increase, I'm proud of him. He's come a very long way, and I'm happy about it.
Good. All right, your team has seen a lot of different played 4 games, but you've seen dramatically different styles. You saw the spread last week. You saw a more traditional offense from Northern Illinois. You saw the fast pace of Colorado and kind of a methodical pace from Minnesota. You've kind of seen it all, haven't you, in the first month?
Yeah. It has been very multiple. I've seen a lot of different things and a lot of different keys to victory and a lot of different ways offenses attack you. So, yeah, it's been good to get that type of experience, for our guys and for the defense and for the team in general.
So let's swing to the challenge this week. What are the challenges that Michigan poses this week?
This is not a spread offense. This is not a get the ball on the perimeter. And they may throw some screens out, but really they're going to look you in the eyes and run at you and see if you quit. And if you do, then the score will be lopsided. And if you don't, then you'll have a chance at some point. And that's really how, I like those. It's more like an NFL offense. Like they're going to run their plays. They'll throw some tricks at you, but pretty much they can give you a heavy dose of, let's see if you're tough or not. Let's see if you're strong. Let's see. It's like what I think of when I think of the Big Ten.
Coach Rule said that's kind of what he wants to get going here, that he looks at Michigan and says that's kind of what we're attaining to be.
Yeah, no question about it. No question. I mean, those guys were in the college football playoffs, and they kind of do it the way we envision us being at some point, So it'll be a good measuring stick on where we are as a program.
Got a text, and this player's not in your room, but I think you can certainly talk about Mekhi Bayer. This texter wants to know, looks like he's come out of nowhere to play and be pretty good for us. What have you seen from Mekhi?
The process works. This guy is doing what Deshaun did. He's doing what Isaac did when he just fully embraced trying to be a great player. And most of the decisions that he makes on a daily basis is probably towards trying to be a great player. And it works. There is no secret recipe to being great. Like, whatever your ceiling is, you have to chase that. And it's only hard work and dedication. And that's it. There is no drill that I can tell you to make you great. It's just work.
There's no easy answer.
There is no easy answer. And I don't think there is in any facet of life, but especially in football.
Right. And, I love stories like that. I love guys that just decide, and you've used this term a couple times here tonight about they decided to be good, and they decided to put that effort into it. I love that stuff from guys, and I think Mekhi is a great example of that.
Yeah. I think as the season wears on, you'll see more and more of those type of guys. Like, we have those type of guys in the locker room just waiting on their opportunity to get in and show what they can do.
All right, this defense, Coach White, I don't think you'd really been cross paths with him before this past year. What's he been like to work with?
Amazing. Like, I learned so much from Coach. Coach is always open to ideas, and he'll make decisions. And he always values what we say. He's really smart. Like, I'll say something, and I could just see his brain spinning, and he'll say, okay, got it. Just this. I'm just like, okay, good. I learned a lot from him. I've learned a lot from the past coaches that I've worked under. This is new to me. Everything that we do on defense is relatively new philosophically, so it's been good.
Coach, he seems like to have a really calm demeanor. I never see him like he ever gets rattled.
Right.
Is that accurate?
He never gets rattled.
He gets fired up, though.
But he definitely gets fired up. You got to see him in the D staff meetings and the unit meetings, and he's a linebacker. He has that to him, which is sneaky, but it'll show up every now and then.
John in Omaha for you, Coach, says, what do you attribute to all the great tackling we've seen from this group so far this season?
Which group? The defense?
Just the whole defense.
Just practicing and want to. Tackling is less about technique and more about want to. Those guys want to, so they do it.
And I thought that was where your group shined. And there were one or two last weekend, but they made you, because we talked about in the first segment, they made you tackle in space. Malcolm made some good plays in the edge. Quentin made good plays. Your guys made good plays in the edge when it was them and only them out there.
There's really nowhere to hide in my room.
Nowhere to hide.
There's nowhere to hide. Like, we are going to be physical. We're going to tackle. You might get us a couple times, but we'll be back. So there's nowhere to hide. Gift won't let them hide. Isaac will not let those guys hide. And I'm not going to let them hide either. So.
John, good question. Appreciate you bringing that up. Hey, contact 811 2 days before you dig to protect your underground utilities and yourself. It's free. It's easy. It's the law. Are there certain styles of offenses that you think your group prefers to play? You talked about this is going to be a game Saturday where they're going to look you in the eye and go, we're coming at you to see if you can stop us. Last week was more out on the edge. Is there a style that DBs maybe prefer, or is it like the challenge of something different every week kind of cool?
It's more like the challenge of something every week. And it's just the flavor of the week. You know, we have to adjust to it. And it's good to see them be able to adjust in multiple different, multiple offenses and schemes and philosophical deals. So it's been good,
I've said, Coach, for years, I think that's what's a little different about the Big Ten from some other leagues is you get it all. You'll get some 12 personnel teams that just want to line up and come at you. You'll get some spread looks. Yeah. And that's a challenge for defensive coordinators and defensive coaches. You guys have to be able to cover it all.
That's it. Yeah, it is. It is a challenge. Every offense presents a different challenge. So this one has its own challenges.
Time now for our Alumni Hall, a look back at a Husker former great. Because we have a defensive backs coach, I thought we'd go pull an old defensive back who now plays for the Cincinnati Bengals. Here's a highlight from his Husker days.
Snap back, Johnson has it, set, throws, pass, behind, deflected, picked off by Cam
Go,
Taylor.
baby.
To
Go,
the 20,
baby.
Cam to the 30, to the 40, 45, knocked out on the 49-yard line. Cam Taylor stepping in there, picking off the pass near the goal line. The Huskers' fourth turnover forced of the game, and that stops that threat from USA.
Cam now playing for the Cincinnati Bengals, had 6 tackles last night, and 5 were solo tackles in that game. You've had a chance to meet Cam.
Yeah. I actually interviewed him in the pre-draft deal when I was with the Panthers, and then he came back to one of our practices, and he watched us practice in the spring. So, yeah, he's good, man. I'm happy for him. He's doing a good job in Cincinnati.
Yeah, no doubt. It's fun to watch him put on that uniform every Sunday. Alumni Hall is your ultimate Husker shopping experience with the largest and best selection of apparel, vault gear, and tailgate accessories. Shop their 2 Lincoln locations or alumnihall.com, Alumni Hall, where Huskers shop. Keep those texts coming, 402-413-2400. A lot more with Coach Cooper coming up next.
There's room at the table. Saving you money on every gallon at a CVA fuel site, Central Valley Ag offers a 5-cent per gallon discount at the pump to CVA fuel card holders. Now, for a limited time, get a 5-cent discount and be entered to win 2 VIP tickets to a Husker football game when you get a new or additional CVA fuel card. Sign up to win at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
There's a call on the field for a quality seed specific to where you farm. Make the right call with Prairie Valley. With local research in 8 regions throughout Nebraska, Prairie Valley performs with their locally specific hybrids and varieties while achieving the highest quality and yield. No matter where you farm in Nebraska, Prairie Valley has the seed for where you are. Find a local dealer and learn more about the seed for where you are at prairievalleyseeds.com.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting student Ann Gallagher with Campus News. UNL is the only Big Ten university in Nebraska, part of the only conference with an academic alliance. Being in the Big Ten means superior academics, unique student opportunities, better resources, and world-class research programs. With 72% of undergraduate students receiving scholarships or financial aid, UNL offers a Big Ten education at great value.
As a fan, you wear your jersey on your back and your heart on your sleeve. There's a place for people like you. The Cox Fan Zone, Play NFL Pick'em and Collegiate Pick'em for a chance to win a $100 Visa gift card each week, or even a $500 Visa gift card grand prize.
Hey, Husker fans, this is Greg Sharpe. Say Fan Zone in your Contour voice remote to play. Not at home? Visit Cox.com/fanzone. Go Big Red.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
That's my neighbor Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a big mistake. Hey, Joe, think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have the utilities marked before you start digging?
I'm not digging very deep. It's no big deal.
No big deal.
Dad, the TV's out. Internet, too.
Remember, safe digging always starts with a free call to 811. Oh, what a knucklehead.
Brought to you by Nebraska 811.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Woodhouse Auto Family, your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Welcome back. It's our Husker football show. Coach Cooper with us until the top of the hour. If you want to fire off a text, still time for you to get those in, 402-413-2400. Huskers ready to get back into conference play. Michigan, the test this week, 2:30 kickoff at Memorial Stadium. It'll be on Big Fox. That'll make 3 out of 5 games for the Huskers this year that have been on Big Fox. Great exposure for the program. Pretty easy to tell recruits where to find you. It's easy for them to find you.
It's always a good thing.
How much you guys stepped away from the Bader situation, went to the NFL, and now you've come back, and college football's changed, Coach, with the portal and now NIL. I mean, how much of an adjustment has that been for you guys coming back to a college game that's changed a little bit in the last 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, it's changed quite a bit. I think some of the basic principles are the same. You know, treat the guys right, give them everything you got. Like I try to give my DBs everything. I just want them to be as good as they could be. And as far as transfers happen, like those things happen. You know, I don't know how to, combat that except give them everything I got every day and try to make them as good as they could be and try to let them earn something.
It has just made it, and right or wrong, it's just a different world that we live in where guys now have a little bit more power to say, hey, I'm going to go over here now after trying it at this particular school. Mm-hmm. Are you and Coach McGuire, are you guys, has this Tommy Hill thing, has this caused a rift with you and Coach McGuire? I mean, Tommy's spending time now with him.
No, not at all, man. I tell people all the time, like, I don't really talk trash to Coach McGuire. I talk trash to my players. Like, I'm all over my players. I'm trying to rattle those guys and then make fun of them when I break them. So I spend a lot of time yelling at them.
And again, as we said in the first segment, it takes a special young guy like Tommy, who's an incredible athlete, to be able to try to do both these. I kept looking out there, and I'm like, well, now he's playing defense, and now the next time we have the football, there he was out in a pass formation. Yeah. That is really not easy to do.
He also plays special teams.
And he brought back kicks.
I mean, he's a punter. He's the gunner also. He loves football. So it's easier for the guys who just love to play football. So he's one of those.
How about your young kids? Ethan Nation was a guy that I know this staff was really excited to get his commitment last winter. He's been here, terrific athlete.
I know he's in that young freshman class. How are your freshmen doing?
My freshmen are doing good. You know, they're coming along. You know, they have to earn. Like I said, those guys got to earn everything. I'm not the promised playing time kind of guy. If you ever talk to any of the recruits, he's a guy that I'm excited about. I'm excited about those guys. Jeremiah Charles, I'm trying to steal him from McGuire. So he's one of those freak athletes.
I won't tell him. I won't tell him.
Yeah, no, let that one go, you know. But I've been trying to steal him. You know, he's one of the scout team receivers, and every now and then I flip him over to see what he can do at corner. And sneaky.
He's got some ability, huh?
Not some ability. He's got it all. You know, I just want to make the right. You got to be the right timing. But I'm working on him, so I like him too.
How have you felt about the walk-on program here? It's been a big part of the tradition here, and we talked about a guy like Phelan Sanford who's been a walk-on in this program and has found his way to help the team win on Saturdays. How about that? And do some guys surprise you sometimes? You're like, oh man, that kid actually can play a little bit.
Yeah, it happens a lot. Like, we have some really
John
good
Bullock.
players. Yeah, we have some really good players who just so happen to pay for school at this point. We have a bunch of guys who probably end up, you know, being on scholarship, like good enough to be scholarship players, and that always helps with the way that we practice. And you know, those guys work hard. You know, so.
And you got a group of guys who study that, right? That's their job, is to go identify possible walk-ons to the program. And how often are you? And I'm hearing you just love to break down guys' tape. How often is Omar Hales or somebody bringing you tape and go, check this kid out? He might be able to help us. Does that happen a lot?
Happens every day. I have to tell those guys to get away from me sometimes.
I got to get my other stuff
Yeah,
done.
I'm trying to game plan for Michigan. And those guys, they'll be here Saturday, so. We got to, but yeah, no, those guys, you know, they do a good job. Our recruiting department, I believe, is one of the best in the country at finding those guys and actually getting on the phone with them and getting things done. So they have a lot to do with it.
Well, why is that so? I mean, it just seems like you really enjoy that part of it. What, have you always been that way? Have you always been curious about seeing guys and evaluating them?
I just always have. I've always had the vision of me being like Mel Kiper or somebody, you know, evaluating guys. I've always done that, and then Coach Rule kind of made me on that side, and then I transitioned to be the coach, and he kind of kept me with that role, and then it happened also in the NFL, and I just always have been that guy. I would do that job for free.
Don't say that too loud. Trev Alberts might take you up on some of
man.
that. Hey, Dorothy Lynch, Homestyle Light and Lean Dressing, endless flavorabilities. Coach Cooper with us till the top of the hour, 402-413-2400. You know, I'm sure you get it from all angles. People going, you got to check out this kid, you got to check out that kid. And like you said, you're trying to focus on Michigan and getting your current guys ready to play. Let's go back to the offseason. Coach Worrell has talked a lot about Coach Campbell and his work with guys. How about Coach Campbell's work with the players in your room? What did you notice from early January to when you got out on a field in March for the first spring practice?
Big difference. Coach Campbell's one of the reasons that our guys can play physical. Like those guys, it doesn't hurt as much when you build the muscles that you need. It's not just strength, it's mentality. He's building a mentality. Right, one of those toughness and never be bothered. Every week I go in and say, "Hey, coach, I need your help with this guy. We got to get him." Sorta and so on and so on, and he's that. Those guys love him. They'll do anything for Corey.
So the single-digit numbers, that's new to all of us Husker fans that Coach brought with him here. How much pride do you take in the handful of guys in your room got those single-digit numbers?
Yeah, no, I take that very seriously. I believe that you can see a defense's toughness through the DBs. You can see a defense's effort through how the D-line runs to the ball. But the toughness, I think that comes from the DBs. So if we're a tough defense, it's probably because we got some tough DBs.
Well, I mean, I really enjoyed that tradition that he brought, and I'm sure it was, you know, competitive among the players, and I love the fact that you leave it up to the players to make that decision.
Completely voted on by players. You know, there is no favoritism from the coach. We can see them 12 hours a day, but they see them 24 hours a day. Like they're with them. So if you get voted by your peers, then it's real.
Great stuff. All right, 402-413-2400. We need to slip our final break in. Still time if you want to ask Coach a comment or get a question to him, we'll pass it along in the next segment. Get a 5-cent per gallon discount using a CVA fuel card. For a limited time, register for a fuel card and be entered to win 2 VIP tickets to a Husker football game at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation. Back with some final thoughts from the coach next.
This statement has not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
When it comes to my lifestyle and diet, I don't always make the smartest choices.
Touchdown! Woo! Hey, how about another round and some more chips?
But when it comes to taking care of my liver, I do make one very smart choice. Active liver tablets from New Nordic. I used to have real issues with my liver, and at my last checkup, my doc was concerned about my numbers. But since adding a once-a-day active liver tablet, my gut's better, I feel great, and my doctor's happy. I ask a lot of my liver, so the least I can do to say thanks is a daily dose of Active Liver.
Active Liver is one of many award-winning health products from New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Scandinavia. Purchase at Amazon.com or for a volume discount, visit NewNordicUSA.com. Available as a tablet or delicious sugar-free gummy. Protect and help your liver the easy and effective way with Active Liver at Amazon or NordicUSA.com.
There's a call on the field for a quality seed specific to where you farm. Make the right call with Prairie Valley. With local research in 8 regions throughout Nebraska, Prairie Valley performs with their locally specific hybrids and varieties while achieving the highest quality and yield. No matter where you farm in Nebraska, Prairie Valley has the seed for where you are. Find a local dealer and learn more about the seed for where you are at prairievalleyseeds.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
While some seed companies put a greater stake in stock prices and anonymous shareholders, Rob Seco knows that what's important to you hits closer to home. That's why you'll find we're focused on your needs. With a simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, a relationship that makes it easy to connect with anyone in the company, and the technology, traits, and genetics you need from any source. Put your stock in the company that puts you first. Rob Seco.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Evan Cooper with us, Husker defensive backs coach. A few more minutes. Huskers getting ready to play #2 Michigan on Saturday here in Lincoln, at 2:30 kickoff. All right, Coach, you got to help me with this one. Mark in Omaha is asking, is the peanut punch practiced? I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, Peanut Tillman was a DB for the Bears for a really long time, and people coined the term peanut punch because he was really good at just punching, like seeing the ball and punching through it, causing fumbles. That's probably what he's most notable for. Really good player. Yeah, we do. We practice it. I think causing fumbles happen with like dominant contact, really hitting people, and same as with the punch. I think once you know your job inside and out, then you could get to, like, it's hard to think about punching the ball out when I'm trying to realize, like, I'll think about, okay, I have this on this play, this on this play, okay, here's the ball carrier. So I think as it goes, we'll get more opportunities, but we do practice it. We practice that every pre-practice. We start practice with that because it's a big emphasis for us. But I think in the near future, you'll see it more often.
Good. I learned something tonight. I didn't know had not heard about the peanut punch. That's good. Yeah. Folks, buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Another text question. Coach, is there a certain number of incoming players you're trying to recruit for your room?
No, I don't think coaches ever really said this number.
Not like 4 or 8 or 6 or whatever. He doesn't put that on you.
We just try to collect, like, the best athletes and find a home. Like I said, like I want to steal Jeremiah Charles. He's a receiver. We brought him in as I want to steal him and have him play corner. So I don't think we really do it that way. Just try to acquire as much, talent as possible. But I have 5 guys, so we'll need a bunch of guys to replace.
And they've loosened some of the restrictions. It used to be kind of a hard line at 25 can be the class. Now it moves a little bit more because of the portal and all those things.
Yeah.
So it changes. And you hope not, but you could have some guys that decide to leave too. I mean, that's part of it now.
Yeah. Hopefully those guys go off and play in the NFL.
Yeah, right.
I would like that departure and not the transfer portal, but it is what it is.
And you felt like you got some NFL-type guys that you're coaching right now.
100% have NFL. I was an NFL coach and an evaluator, and we definitely have those type of guys. They got a short on tape, but we have those type of guys.
All right, let's kind of turn it back to Michigan, the challenges that are faced. What are going to be some keys for your guys on Saturday?
We got to withstand the physicality of this game. We have to cover. We got to win our one-on-ones. It's typical of a football game, and you have to tackle. You got to get off blocks. You got to cover. You got to make plays on the ball. And that's pretty much what it is going to be. It's going to be a great challenge. Obviously, one of the best teams in the country. It's been that way forever, Michigan.
When people think of them, they think of McCarthy, the quarterback, or Corum, the running back. What about their wide receivers? Wilson looks like a guy that's kind of coming on for them. What about the talent level they have on the outside? We hear so much about their backfield.
Yeah, those type of programs, they'll always have talented players. They're good players. They're skilled athletes. And I'm confident in my guys. It's a challenge. I've said it before, like, it doesn't really matter who we play. If we're not right, any receiver could get us. These guys just happen to be really good, so we have to be prepared and ready to go. So we'll see what happens on Saturday.
Big game. The rest of them left are all conference games.
Yeah.
And Coach says, we really don't talk about whether it's a non-conference or conference. It's one game at a time. And I think people say, well, that's coach speak. But you have to do that, right? You can't be looking 2-3 weeks down the road. You can't do that.
No. For as much as it's coach speak, it's really life speak. Like, I can't look and say what I'm going to be doing in a month. I just come to work, eat lunch, et cetera, et cetera. Right. Like, I can't forecast too much or else I get overwhelmed. So that's how we approach it. Just really every day. Just day to day. Like, we can't beat Michigan Saturday on Tuesday. We just got to win Tuesday. So
you guys do an interesting thing where you practice on Tuesday mornings, and then you go to a Wednesday night practice.
Yeah.
Has Coach been doing something like that for a while?
Yeah, he had that schedule at Baylor. It's for the turnaround and for the coaches to be able to get ready for Wednesday practice, because that's kind of one of the last practices that we have of the week. It's good for the coaches. We play some night games, so it helps that. We play some day games, so Tuesday helps us. So it's been good for us. So we'll keep it going.
What about the Fast Fridays? How long has he kind of implemented that type of a practice?
I think that happened either our second year at Baylor or our third year at Baylor. It's the old Chip Kelly thing, I think. I'm not sure. I don't want to give the wrong credit. But it works for us. And the science says it's working for us as far as the athlete's ability to run fast and, regain everything that they lost throughout the week. So it's been good for us.
Well, good luck Saturday. I know that this fan base is going to be there. They're going to be full-throated. You need them to be. I mean, this is a big challenge. This is a really good football team, a team that's got a chance to win the whole thing. They're that good. And I know the crowd will be there and behind you, and I know you guys will give us a great effort.
Yeah, we always give the great effort. We'll see. But we appreciate the fans, and we appreciate this environment, and we'll be ready to go Saturday.
Okay, thanks for coming in.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Evan Cooper with us here tonight on our Husker football show. Again, Nebraska takes on the Wolverines. 2:30 kickoff. Our Husker Game Day show begins at 10:30 on Saturday morning. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. We've got another hour of Sports Nightly coming up. Have some comments from Marcus Satterfield, who met with the media earlier today, and a little bit of the latest podcast, The Dig, with assistant coach Jaylen Reyes. We'll have that coming your way. In hour number 2 at Sports Nightly. Come on back.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the Trail-Tamin 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Experience a redefined car buying process when you shop at Genesis of Southwest Omaha. Our seasoned team provides exceptional customer service with personalized attention, expert advice and knowledge on vehicles you're interested in, and a streamlined purchasing experience. Shop our full lineup today and test drive the thrilling 2023 Genesis G70. This fierce and powerful sedan pushes limits with exhilarating capabilities and 4 available powertrains to choose from. Visit us in store or online at southwestomahagenesis.com.
Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Earlier today, offensive coordinator Marcus Satterfield spoke to the media about a variety of different topics. One of those topics was the status of the quarterbacks.
They're both, splitting time, splitting reps. We're taking it day by day just to see, at the end of the week where we are, from a health standpoint, from a football standpoint. But Jeff keeps getting stronger and stronger. He's not 100% yet by any means, but he's out there practicing.
More from Coach Satterfield in a bit. The Nebraska baseball team holds its first fall exhibition this Friday at 4 at Haymarket Park against UNO. The game is scheduled to last 14 innings, and admission is free to the public. Gates will open 90 minutes early, and for more information, visit Huskers.com. In national news, Baltimore Orioles Hall of Famer Brooks Robinson passed away at the age of 86 today. Robinson made 18 All-Star Game appearances over a 23-year career that he spent exclusively with the Orioles. Major League Baseball season is winding down, and there are several different games with playoff implications. The Rangers lead the AL West by 2.5 games, and they visit the Angels later tonight. Another critical series in the AL West, the Mariners host the Astros tonight at 9. The Astros lead the Mariners by a game and a half in the AL wildcard. In the National League wildcard race, the D-backs and Cubs are tied for wildcard spots at the moment, and the Marlins are only one game back of a playoff spot. The Cubs travel to Atlanta to take on the Braves. The Cubs currently lead that game 2-0 in the second, and the D-backs lead the White Sox 3-0 in the first, and the Marlins visit the Mets. That game is currently in a rain delay. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Now, get ready for Hour 2 of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Heinrich with 5 on a play clock, gets the snap, hands it off to Ramiro, no fakes with handoff, throws it to the flat to Kemp, makes a catch, 5, touchdown, Nebraska. Great ball fake by Heinrich, flipped it in the flat to Kemp, scoots in there, Nebraska leads it 6-0.
Liz Grigorski, former Wisconsin Badger, line drive serve, good pass, Rodriguez the slide, wow, Andy Jackson, kaboom, and that draws some oohs and ahs.
Lombardi play actions, being rushed, gets hit, goes down, another sack for the Cornhuskers, and Jay Sherman, the first on the scene. It's a loss of 9.
Cammy Minor sends the serve. Good pass set to the middle. Andy Jackson off the ticket out. Match point, big run. They take down Stanford on the road at Maples Pavilion. And the Big Reds undefeated.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are, another hour of Sports Nightly after our football show. Well, it's so fun to listen to Evan Cooper talk. You don't have to be around him long, Jessica, before you go, I get why he's pretty tight with his guys in his room.
It's, I speak a lot about listening to Terrence Knighton's huddles. I can't hear Coop as much. There's so many of the bodies that I can't see inside as much, but you can see it, how much they really do respect him. And I've talked to so many of them and how much they've learned from him, respect him, love playing for him. I mean, they'd run through a brick wall for him. And I it's pretty refreshing too. And I'm not saying that the other coaches are, but he's not real coach speak. He's not coach speaky. You know what I mean? Like he's pretty real in what he says and how he responds to things. And even talking about stealing Jeremiah Charles, I mean, like he's.
I want him.
And he brought him up twice, I mean, I appreciate the realness in some of his answers, and he's not going to sugarcoat things he doesn't sugarcoat things with his guys. He's not going to sugarcoat things here, but he's also going to point out what they do well as well. And I think that's why guys appreciate him. And, he's energy is what he brings. And I think the guys really feed off of that.
Well, he just said, he made some comment about it. I just don't hand out playing time to do it.
I know.
You got to earn it from me.
Because I'm not going to take it away from a guy like Isaac Gifford or some of those other guys that he's talking about that do everything right. That I'm not putting somebody out there just for the sake of putting them out there. You got better earn it to take it away from somebody else.
He deflected any of my compliment to him about what he's done with Omar and Deshaun, but he is a big part of that. And he just throws all the credit to them, and I think a good coach does that. But I think it's a great story, those two kids and the way they have really grabbed a hold of their spots on that defense.
I mean, if you look at the defense from front to back, I mean, those are the two new guys, right? I
Pretty
mean,
much everybody else we see, other than like a Bullock who's getting more time.
yeah, but Nash, Ty, Jamari, some of the Isaac Gifford,
Nick,
Malachi, and
Mackay.
Malcolm Hartzog, and then Quentin Newsome. But those are both safeties are new.
They are.
And they played some last year, but they're new. And I think they've been so bought in. And I've texted you several times, and I texted you the other night after I interviewed Deshaun Singleton. I'm a big fan of Deshaun Singleton. You and I both are big fans of Malcolm Hartzog, and this whole staff is, but I'm a huge fan of Deshaun Singleton. And I mean, I think that there were several players that once his new staff got here and they were like, okay, whatever I did or didn't do in the past, it's a fresh start, and let me dive all in. And I'm not saying Deshaun did or didn't do anything, but he just like took advantage of the opportunity to grab a hold of, hey, it's a clean slate. I could be the number one guy at the end of this. And it sounds like he's done that, and he's just relishing the opportunity. And I think the more and more that he gets the opportunity and he thrives in it, the more confidence he has, the better he plays. It's just kind of a domino effect a little bit, I think, with Deshaun Singleton. I think the more that he is granted this confidence from the coaching staff, the more he just is fueled by it.
Well, that was a position with Buford on the shelf because of the injury that he was rehabbing from last year.
And Miles Farmer
leaving. You're going, oh my gosh, what are we going to do here? And those two, really from the get-go, Omar made the big pick in Minneapolis. Deshaun's getting big hit after big hit. Coach Cooper's like, well, Omar will hit you too. But I notice more of the Deshaun hits than I do Omar. But just they have really locked it in. Omar's
a physical guy too, but I think Deshaun's come at a time where it's like, and it's one-on-one, and he just levels guys, you know. But yeah, and what that does too is it does allow you to be patient with Marquise Buford, you know, and we heard Coach Roll really bragging about Marquise Buford. You and I are big fans of him. We were talking about how much we miss him, and he is just an infectious personality. He loves this program, and he would come back tomorrow if he could, you know? I mean, he would rush it, but the play of these two safeties allows for them to be patient with Marquise Buford, I think, because he's a good player. We've seen it. He earned his spot last year. He's done a lot of good things, and he will be in the rotation when he is healthy. But you don't want to rush it, so they've got some depth there, and this allows for them to tell him, hey, your time will come. Just wait for it. And who knows? Maybe, I don't know when they expect him to be back, but they want to make sure that for his future, and you heard Coach Coop talking about that, is for his future more than anything, is they want to ensure that he's ready to go. But maybe you wait on him enough that you get to redshirt him. You know, you never know.
I think that's the hope. Get him ready to maybe play 4 games at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Maybe you're going to need him. Maybe, you get an injury to one of the guys that's starting or playing a lot at safety right now. But if you could hold him till the end of the season, get him a couple games and redshirt him.
Yeah, because and not just at safety, but remember back as a true freshman, he was a big part of special teams.
He was.
So before he was a starting defensive back, he played in every single special teams, and that was very, very important to him. So even just in that regard, like having another person that is really great on special teams that you can throw out there, he can do multiple things. And so, again, he will be a big asset for this team whenever he is healthy.
One guy I didn't bring up, and shame on me, was Javier Morton. He's on a lot of the special teams units. Good athlete, great musician, we also know too, but I should have brought his name up to Coach, but I missed him during the program. All right, here's what we have this hour. We're going to have a practice report, Marcus. Both coordinators met with the media today. We're going to focus on offense because we just spent an hour talking about defense with Coach Cooper here. So Coach Satterfield met with the media today to talk about a wide variety of topics. Camden had it for you in the ticker that both quarterbacks are doing okay, working their way back. Matt Rule mentioned on Monday, Jeff Sims didn't finish the Colorado game. Heinrich didn't finish the Louisiana Tech game with various injuries. So my guess is even Chubba's getting reps this week with the top groups because those guys may not be totally healthy. I don't know that we will know, kind of like last week, maybe until Pete Thamel reports on game day who's going to be the starter.
How does he know?
think he might have a special hotline to the head coach, but that's just a theory of mine. So, but that's okay. I mean, even if Chubba needs to get reps, Chubba started against Michigan last year. People kind of forget that.
Yeah, he did.
And
And then he got
folks,
hurt.
Folks, do not take that I'm saying Chubba started. I'm not saying that at all. But he's got to be ready to go, as we saw last week.
They all do. And you don't want to push something that is not ready. And so hopefully they continue to progress along. But I think, to me, the good sign for Jeff is that he did run out there when the helmet came off. So if there was concern about that, they would have sent Chubba out there. So to me, it means that he's trending in the right direction. And I mean, Heinrich, you think they're gonna, he's like Luke Reimer. I mean, you're gonna have to pull him off that field. I mean, I told you at the end of the game that he put his helmet back on. He's like, if you need me, I'll go back in.
I can go back in.
You know? So he's a tough cookie. And if he will not, it was gonna take a band of wild horses to keep him off that field. So I think both of them probably will be ready. It just doesn't matter who is more ready. I probably would be my guess.
And we might see multiple guys play. This could be a game where you see both Heinrich and Jeff play in this game.
And if both of them are ready to go, and you start one of them, and maybe the offense isn't doing as well, you put somebody else in. Maybe if there's a turnover here, you put somebody else in. I mean, if both of them are close, at least you feel good about what you've seen out of Heinrich to be able to, and that's what we said last week. You feel good about what you've seen at this point, and I did a sideline slice because Searles is off the grid, so Josh Banderas filled in for him this week, and we're going to hear from him tomorrow night, right? But we dove into all things defense, but that was part of it. What he was saying is that he's seen enough from this defense to know that as long as you just have a quarterback that manages things and takes care of the football and does what you got to do to just, not lose the game, I guess, if you will, that you feel good enough about what your defense can do. So as long as you, get a guy out there that's going to manage things, and you don't have to be world beaters with this offense. You don't, because what your defense is doing. That's part of, that's the biggest thing, is what this coaching staff wants to implement here, is that complementary football, and the defense has proven what they can do. So as long as the offense just doesn't, give the other team the opportunities, especially a team like Michigan.
Right.
You just cannot give a team like Michigan those extra opportunities. Yeah. And so as long as you have somebody out there that's doing that, you feel good about whoever you match up with, I guess, at this point.
And you rewind to the Colorado game. Without those first half turnovers, it's a 0-0 game at halftime.
Yeah.
And it's totally different second half, but Nebraska turned the football over. That was really the story of that game. So we got a full hour coming your way here tonight. Still time for you to be a part of the program with a call or a text, 402-413-2400. That is our Woodhouse Auto Family Hotline. They are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. We're back with some comments from offensive coordinator Marcus Satterfield in our practice report. That's coming up next.
There's a call on the field for a quality seed specific to where you farm. Make the right call with Prairie Valley. With local research in 8 regions throughout Nebraska, Prairie Valley performs with their locally specific hybrids and varieties while achieving the highest quality and yield. No matter where you farm in Nebraska, Prairie Valley has the seed for where you are. Find a local dealer and learn more about the seed for where you are at prairievalleyseeds.com.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
The name on the mailbox may say Smith, Myers, Baumgartner, or Johnson, but when you choose to plant with Rob Seco, it includes your name too, making you a stockholder in a company that's invested in you. With the simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, relationships that bring more to the table, the technology, traits, and genetics that take on local conditions, and people with the know-how to use it. At Rob Seco, the only stockholder we listen to is you.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Agent Matt Moorhead or Joanne Shamanek in Lincoln or Scott Jeffers in McCook today.
Greetings, human neighbor. Hey, Zendar. I brought you a little gift for suggesting Nebraska Pick 5 from the Nebraska Lottery. It's a great game.
Affirmative. Since the Pick 5 jackpot grows by $10,000 each time it is not won, your enthusiasm is logical. However, no gratuity is required.
You sure? It's 10 gallons of wiper fluid.
I have reconsidered. Would you care to help Marlex and I consume it?
No, I'm good.
Nebraska Pick 5 top prize odds 1 in 658,000. Flu season is here, and your Hy-Vee pharmacy is here to help you stay healthy. Get your flu shot at Hy-Vee today and get a 20-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver. You can get your flu shot anytime the pharmacy is open. No appointment necessary. That's right. Get your flu shot with no appointment necessary. Get your flu shot today and earn a 20-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver. Only at Hy-Vee. Some restrictions apply.
Here's to the locals, raised right here in the Western Corn Belt. The strong ones. We help them grow stronger, making world-class genetics research and technology local. The cutting-edge yet common-sense agronomy, the shake-em-up yields. Because we're born and raised here too, and we'll keep raising the bar to ensure you only get the best at Hogemeyer. Raised local, raised right here. Learn more at therightseed.com.
I learned a lot of sayings from my dad. One of them was, do one thing, do it better than anyone else. At Dakota Mac, that one thing is long-term, fixed-rate loans for ag real estate. If you're considering expanding your ag operation or restructuring your debt, give Dakota Mac a call. They'll be happy to walk you through your options.
Hi, it's Boyd Minery from Dakota Mac. Call me at 402-463-4637 to learn all about our competitive rates on ag real estate loans.
Preparation. It's the key to success on game day. And like your favorite Huskers on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pregame routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally.
We are back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Tuesday night. Jeremy in Texas, you're being naughty. You texted in and said, Greg Sharpe saying Jubba's starting. I did not say that. I said, but you got to have him ready. I mean, you got two guys that are banged up. So
Which Coach Rule has said in his press conference. So,
yeah.
I mean, everybody's got to be ready at this point. So,
Jeremy, that's how rumors get started. Crazy. Let's go to the phones. Tim in Minnesota joins us next. Good evening, Tim. How are you?
Oh, hanging in there. Hey, I have a question for you. Thinking about that delay from Saturday, I, of course, still very well remember the permanent delay from the Akron game several years back. What I was wondering during that game is if they had not been able to finish the game, I mean, since it was practically over, only 8:39 left, would the game have counted? So my first question is, how much of a football game has to be played before a winner and the defeated can be declared? That's my first question. The second question is regarding that dig ad, the hotline. I've been wondering for a long time. I'm sure that's not the actual John Ratzenberger, but he's
No,
the
it
guy
is.
who played Cliff.
It is.
It is?
Yeah, it is.
Wow. Yeah, I had it is an awesome ad. But I was thinking of that. I don't know. So maybe other schools use it too.
Yeah, I think it's a national campaign. So yeah, it's the old Cliff Clavin from Cheers. Yeah, that's who it is.
Yeah. Couldn't have picked anyone better for that. I did get to the Minnesota game, but I wasn't able to connect with you guys. I wish I had gone to that alumni thing, and I wasn't quite able to catch Jessica at the right time either, unfortunately. So maybe something down the road. Also, I can. Last thing is I can have a. I was trying to remember exactly where I was going with this, but I can kind of relate to that interview you had in the off season with Josh Banderas, because he, I think, had his ankle in a boot, and I actually had to go through that. Had a car accident in which I broke my ankle, but there was something regarding the team I was trying to connect that to, and I can't remember what that one is, but I was hoping to ask Josh at one of these times, how he was doing, because I can definitely relate to all of that. So, but that's all. Thanks for taking my call.
All right, Tim, appreciate it. Thanks for the phone call. There's not a hard, fast rule about when a game's official, but I think once you get into the second half, and particularly in a game like Saturday when it was a 28-7 score, that had they not been able to continue, or Louisiana Tech said we got to get to the airport and fly home, it would have been a Husker win.
I was wondering the same thing, like at what point, if, like, say it lightninged again, because in baseball and softball there are those
midpoint of the game, it's good,
that are in place to be able to.
We were deep enough
because it is about and I understand football is different because of the charters and all of that, but at some point it's about the student athlete welfare and when can you call it? So I was actually wondering that myself. So.
And Tim, Jessica was looking for you. Didn't see you in the stands in Minneapolis a couple weeks ago. All right, let's do it. A practice report.
The 1890 Initiative presents the Nebraska Football Practice Report.
We're talking about practice.
Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com.
Well, Marcus Satterfield met with the media today. He does on Tuesdays to talk about the last game and kind of looking ahead to this game. And, Nebraska came out in that third quarter Saturday. Game was tied, and it was a heavy dose of power running game. They brought Teddy Prohaska in for a couple of snaps as an additional tackle. Luke Lindemeyer was out there, and it was a heavy dose of Anthony Grant on that drive. Coach Satterfield was asked, is the power running the way to go? Is that really what you want this offense to be?
No, but it's a testament, I think, to what we say we are. We are. Like, I don't care about stats. I don't care about anything other than winning. And that's the way Coach looks at it. And we're going to do whatever we have to do to win games. If that's throw it for 600 and run it for -20, we'll do that. It's just whatever we have to do to win games, we're going to do it. I think the last two games we've done a nice job of taking care of the football. If you take care of the football, you have a chance to win games. And, how we're playing right now is, we're going to have to, again, like I said last week, we're going to have to throw the ball a little bit, especially in these next 8 weeks. We're going to have to develop our passing game even more in order to have the success we want. But to answer your question in a long way, I did not envision it looking exactly like it does right now, but whatever it takes.
You can just go back to last year when he was a coordinator at South Carolina. You had a guy like Spencer Rattler. They're going to throw the football with a quarterback like that, right? They're not going to run it like what we've seen out of Nebraska, but because of the personnel here and again the development of everybody that they have run the football. But to his point, I don't think that's what it feels like on the sidelines. Like, whatever we got to do, let's just win this thing and take care of the football. And that's where I do think that this offense has a lot of faith in what the defense is doing, because they do know that, hey, just give us some time. We'll do what we need to do. But it doesn't have to be always pretty, right? As long as you're in the win column at the end of the day.
You and I mentioned this last night. It bears repeating that you go back to August 1st. You still had Xavier Betts. You still had Isaiah Garcia-Castaneda. You still had Eric Gilbert. You still had Ramir Johnson. You still had Gabe Urban. Those are 5 really good players that aren't part of this team right now or can't play because of injuries or whatever, that now Marcus Satterfield doesn't have. Those are big losses.
Probably 5 of the top 8 weapons, right? 5 or 8 or 7 or 8?
Yes.
I mean, maybe Fedoni, Borgacher.
AG.
But
Heavy losses.
Yes, and I mean, we went to practice, and Isaiah Garcia Castaneda was going to be a big part.
He was.
And Xavier Betts was going to be a big part. And so, yeah, I mean, they've got to figure out who's going to step up into that. And they're moving some people around. We've talked about Tommy Hill and just trying to figure out, ways to find some options to get it going other than just running it. Because as you just heard him say, we do have to throw the football some. Because at this point, and again, another thing that Josh Banderas and even Jeremiah has talked about is teams are going to, at this point, they're going to just load the box and take away the run and dare you to throw the football. So at some point, you're going to have to make it happen.
One bit of news that came out of today, Josh Fleeks is working at running back, so you may see him in that backfield.
Which he played running back some at Baylor.
He did.
So, and we saw Billy Kemp line up back there. I mean, you've got to have some depth back there. And I think at this level, probably Quentin Ives is not quite ready. He's been playing on the scout team. He just is, it's a lot to ask. I mean, I did a lot of reports about this throughout the game about talking through protection with the running backs and the tight ends. And, with as many defenses probably going to bring everybody, it's going to take everybody back there to protect the quarterback and to get the offense rolling. And so it's just a lot to ask of a young running back. And even for Emmett Johnson, who hasn't played back there, I mean, as much as this coaching staff believes in him, that's one of the things that a lot of times young running backs have the toughest time with.
Well, 2 games under his belt as the starter for Heinrich Harburg. How has he done in the offensive coordinator's eyes?
He's got to get in shape. We're giving him a hard time. We love the explosive runs, but if he has an explosive run, we almost have to take him out of the game because he's hyperventilating. And it was a hot game and everything, and his emotions and everything were running high. But you can watch him on that one drive where we ran 9 straight runs. He's handing the ball off, and he looks like Rocky. In the 8th round, he's about to fall over. So he's got to just get in shape. The kid's so tough and super competitive, and he would do anything in the world just to have success on one play at a time. So it's cool to watch him play and watch him grow.
I told you guys this. I mean, at one point, Marcus Satterfield told him, "Hey, breathe." You just feel how much it means to him, and he and the guys are, they love him for it. But he is over there. He's talking to everybody. He's trying to figure everything out, and it just means so much to him. And so, but I mean, anybody that runs off a 70-yard run, can anybody? I wouldn't make it 30 yards, but anybody that in that heat,
sure.
And even Anthony Grant. I mean, I also told you guys this in the break that after he had the run that got called back, they had to bring him over to the AC, and because he had a heavy load that day, and it was hot and he was humid, and so they were having to hydrate him and get him cooled off. And so it wasn't just Heinrich that was struggling. It was a lot of guys over there that they were trying to make sure. But you're not running in a bunch of quarterbacks or running backs like you are defensive linemen and linebackers and defensive backs and wide receivers.
They're out there all the time.
You guys out there.
All right, we'll leave you with this. Michigan's defense, one of the best defenses in the country. Here's the coach talking about what they'll see on Saturday.
They're older. I mean, there's a bunch, a couple of graduates, I think 8 graduates / seniors. There's one sophomore corner's an NFL player already. They've got tremendous length and athleticism. They play with great physicality. You can tell they're a bunch of grown men. They're very smart. They're very rarely out of position. They play with great pad level. They tackle very well. They play on the ball very well. I mean, there's a reason they're the top defense in the country, and it shows. And it's going to be a huge test for us, come Saturday, but they're a really good defense.
That is our practice report for tonight. Folks, buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. When we come back, play a little bit of the latest podcast, The Dig. Jaylen Reyes, this week's guest. We'll have that for you coming up.
Here's to the locals, raised right here in the Western Corn Belt. The strong ones. We help them grow stronger, making world-class genetics research and technology local. The cutting-edge yet common-sense agronomy, the shake-em-up yields. Because we're born and raised here too, and we'll keep raising the bar to ensure you only get the best at Hoegemeyer. Raised local, raised right here. Learn more at therightseed.com.
We could tell you all about what makes Ford F-Series the #1 trucks in America for 46 straight years. But why tell you when we could show you instead? Because in the Midwest, talk is cheap and actions speak. On the lake, on the job, or on the town, choose the trucks that deliver on the claims. Ford F-Series is made for the real world. This is Chiefs Kingdom. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $3,750 bonus cash on F-150 XLT, official truck of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow, provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains Tocogaya, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Grow today to feel and look your best. Just go to newnordicusa.com or visit Walgreens or Amazon to purchase. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at newnordicusa.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
What's colder than the coldest? A polar bear. Live reports of a polar bear on the loose. Man, is it cold enough for a polar bear in here?
Yes, we use SOS. Come on in.
SOS to the rescue! Nebraska defensive lineman Nash Hubbard here. People know me as the polar bear, and when I want to stay cool, I call SOS. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition, guaranteed. Mention the polar bear and get a free 10-year labor warranty on new York equipment. The best warranty in town.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
At Sid Dillon Chevrolet, we prioritize our customers and promise an honest experience from start to finish. Visit us in Blair, Crete, Fremont, or Wahoo and experience for yourself why we are Nebraska's #1 volume Chevy dealer. And as your Chevrolet Business Elite dealer, we offer commercial vehicles including medium-duty trucks and low-cab forwards. Visit SidDillonChevy.com. Chevy, find new roads.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Folks, if problem gambling is burning up your money, there is a way out. Help is free and confidential for Nebraskans and their families. There's no judgment, just help. Visit lifeafterbet.com. Well, the weekly podcast, The Dig, deals with Husker Volleyball, where Jessica rotates through the Nebraska assistant coaches. This week, she sat down with Jaylen Reyes.
I asked Coach Cook this the other night on his show, but I'd be interested in your take on this. When you're recruiting players, and a lot of times it can be all about offense, right, and how many kills you get. And that's what he's saying when you're talking about stats. It's a lot of times the offensive stats. But when you're recruiting players at a young age, are you looking to see how much they buy into the defensive side of that, or is that something that you coach up once they get here?
A lot of defense is effort, right? I mean, a lot of it is just pure effort, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, Lainey Choboy is very... fundamentally, she's really good. But a lot of the plays she makes is just pure, like, she doesn't want the ball to hit the floor. So I think that's one thing we do look for, especially in floor defenders. Blockers, there's a little more feel, it comes a little more natural, or it depends how it's trained. Sometimes people play for coaches that are able to train it a little bit better than others, if I'm being honest. But I think, yeah, there's definitely more of a feel of that. But, you know, I would say most of the time when you recruit players, we're looking for players that can kill balls, and we can feel like we can coach the defensive side of the thing. But, I mean, part of that, the defensive side, just like I was talking about floor defenders, is effort and just you take it personal if someone hits it past you. So I think Becca Alex is one of the best blockers in the country. And part of it is she feels like she should block everything. She knows she's not going to, but there's this like drive to like, she takes it personal when you hit it past her. And I think that's something that's just sometimes within kids, and you can kind of see it out when they're playing in high school and clubs. So yeah, definitely we look for that. But obviously there's a huge premium on people that can kill the ball too.
Kelly was saying that even with someone like Bergen, right, you guys teach all kind of the same principles in terms of blocking. What are the three biggest things or the biggest things that you want to teach your blockers and blocking that it leads to the success that you guys have in limiting opponents' hitting percentage? Right.
Having great eye work is important. I guess that's everything in sports, but just making sure in the sequence, and without getting into like all the nuts and bolts of it, I think making sure they're looking at the right things at the appropriate times. Is the pass coming over the net or not? Get a really good look at the setter, because the setter, where she's setting it from, or even her body posture, or is the setter setting the ball from on the net or off the net? Because that helps, gives you kind of ideas of where the ball is going to be set. Like, that's the biggest thing. And then I think just biomechanically, are they moving? Do they have really good block fundamentals in terms of footwork in place and how they use their arms to jump? And are they opening their hips and turning and running? Or when they shuffle, can they really push off their feet and use the ground to jump? So there's a lot that kind of goes into blocking. I think blocking is actually one of the most complex skills, attacking to, and maybe even like running an offense setting. Those are probably the most three in terms of like complex, because there's eye work involved, there's movement patterns, there's different footwork patterns that, you could do it this way and I can do it that way. And as long as we both move efficiently, we can both be really good at doing the same thing, but in a different way. So that for me, that's what makes it complex, is there's not a real right answer. The other thing we kind of talk about is the ball knows angles. So when the ball hits the block, can we get the ball to reflect to where we want it to go? We don't want it to hit our block and go straight down on our side, or we don't want it to go hit our block and go out of bounds on their side. Those that follow volleyball, the ball knows angles. You'll hear it a lot when they talk about passing, when they talk about a serve receive. But we try to kind of make an emphasis on, hey, when we make moves outside of our body, can we create the angles with our arms to bring the ball to where we want it to go? And then for us is just, the other thing is have an understanding of where players like to hit the ball. Great players, even the best players in the world, they hit the ball all over the place, but even the best players have their one or two favorite shots they like to go to when the stress hits, or it's the end of the game, or maybe they don't get the set they like. Everyone has their shot they like to hit. So just getting our blockers to understand at the end of the day, okay, hey, this player can hit it all over the place because she's really good and really talented, but this is where, when it's 23-all, okay, and she gets a good set, this is where she wants to hit the ball. So if we can get our blockers to just understand that and then maybe make reads from that spot, we could be pretty good. And that's kind of something we're trying to achieve.
Oh, fascinating. What about, too, when you have the double block and even just like the timing of the two and then the spacing of it and not allowing the space for it to get through that's something you got to work through too, right?
So that's the other thing in terms of why it's complex is you need two people to be seeing the same things, right? And then you have the dynamic of a middle has to maybe block in the middle on the left and the right. You know, maybe Bergen Riley or Merritt Beeson on the right has to help with quicks that are maybe run on top of them, but also they have to worry about a set out to area 4 or a go set onto the other team's outside hitters. So that's why blocking is really, in my opinion, it's really hard to train because it's super complex and it's two people making a read together and then making sure, you know, doing the things you talked about, closing the seam in the block and making sure they're over the net with timing is important. And the reason why I think it's another reason why it's complex is the ball is on the other side. The other team is dictating when they hit the ball, how fast they set the ball, where do they set the ball, right? So that's why eye work is super important and making sure we could do all the footwork correct, but if we're early or if we're late, it doesn't matter, right? Yeah. So it's like the timing of, okay, great, awesome, you did the correct footwork and you were in the right spot. But if you're a little early on your way down, that player can probably hit over you still. So there's a lot that goes into blocking, and I think that's why it's definitely a skill that most high school and club players, when they get to this level, have to be refined. And I think it's doing a lot of club and high school coaches are doing a great job of it when they're younger. But when they're younger, in my opinion, there's bigger emphasis on serving, passing, hitting the ball in, because that wins. When you get to the higher levels, like there's a little more emphasis on you have to be able to block a bunch of different areas versus at some of the younger levels, it's like, hey, honestly, if you can serve, pass, dig balls and hit in a lot, you're probably going to win. Okay. But once you kind of get to the higher levels, I think there's a little more of a premium on blocking. But there's still, if you can kill balls and serve and pass, even at our level, you're going to be in most volleyball games and probably win most volleyball games.
Fascinating. Wow. But you guys have found that that's what has separated Nebraska a lot of times is the ability to maybe stop the pass or the serve and the kill is to maybe slow it down a little bit with the defense, right?
For sure. I mean, it definitely helps when, you know, we can get a couple of touches and, you know, maybe make attackers, whether how good they are or not, like feel a little uncomfortable because Nebraska is trying to take away what I like to do the most. But, you know, there's times where we're playing against really good teams that they're going to, you know, for an example, the first set last night, I think Minnesota hit a huge number. I can't remember the number off the top of my head, but they hit a big number in the first set. We were able to win that set because we hit a bigger number. So we outscored them. And then I think the rest of the way, it was more of a defensive battle. I don't think in the second and third sets, both coaching staffs would be like, oh, we played beautiful sets offensively. You know, I think we were just able to make a couple of stops in certain areas of those two sets where a couple of stops here or there, and then we were able to turn them for points in transition. I think that was the difference. So for us, it's like, are we able to win both types of volleyball games? The slugfest 10-3 football games, and then can we light up the scoreboard and win the 62-55 football games? I think the teams that have the ability to do both and kind of rely on O and D, just like in any sport, wins, right? So for us, it's like there's a big premium on defense and serving and defense and blocking defense here at Nebraska, but putting more of an emphasis on even being able to, hey, we're going to out-hit this team this set to get this win. Because maybe, hey, they're doing some stuff defensively that maybe we can't pick up yet right now, but we will. But can our offense carry us to win that first set just like last night? And then I thought the second set we came out and we did a really good job in terms of the stuff we were trying to do. Because you just got to get used to these teams. Some of these teams, you talk about them all week, but it's one thing to be out there and playing against a McKenna Wicker, who in my opinion is one of the best outsides in the country, and Taylor Lanfear as well, where, I mean, we line her up and she's going to go over us. And she goes over us a couple times, and it takes a little bit of like, oh, wow, like she really is going over us, you know? And I thought our offense did a good job of kind of carrying us through that first set. And then I thought, you know, the black shorts definitely showed up in 2 and 3.
You mentioned Becca Alec. How much fun is she to coach?
Let's just say this, it ain't boring coaching her. And the reason I really thoroughly enjoy coaching her, because sometimes sometimes I don't enjoy it, but it's like, it's a discussion all the time. I feel like there's a discussion between us, and because she really is really intrigued on the why we want to do stuff. And I feel like because the fact that she's curious, she learns pretty quickly. There's times where I'm like, hey, let's just do it this way. But yeah, there's a lot of things that she does that, I mean, you know, I'm just trying to refine, but she's kind of come in with Nebraska, with, especially if we talk about blocking, like she's very gifted in terms of just has a really good feel of getting her hands where the ball's going to cross the net. And if I had to dumb it up as simple as I can, it's like, can you just get your hands in the way of where the ball's going to cross the net a lot? And Becca has a kind of that knack of being able to do that.
And no short of personality either, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's, put it this way. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. It ain't boring. She ain't boring.
I love that. I love it. Well, let's talk about this weekend coming up. Purdue on Friday night at their place. So the first Big Ten road trip. What does that look like for you guys in preparing this? Again, I know you're not saying it, but this young team, that a lot of them experiencing this for the first time.
For sure. One, it's going to be, I mean, usually we play there, little small gym. I think it's called Holloway Gymnasium, and it's, Purdue is always very, very well coached. They always have really good athletes, which is not going to change this year. And that environment's awesome. Student section's right on top of us. They show out for home games, and yeah, it's going to be one of those things where we're going to see how they react to. You know, we've played a couple of road matches now. Obviously, we've played in front of some pretty big crowds, but you know, now it's like the getting on the plane, playing. Okay, great. We played a match against Purdue, and then now going down to Bloomington and playing against, honestly, a very, very good Indiana team too. So. And it's been a while since we've played a Friday and then turn around and play on Saturday. So that's going to be kind of a transition as well for us. So part of the reason, Jess, I really enjoy coaching this team too, is because everything is kind of, don't know how they're going to react a little bit to it. And that's what kind of makes it, I guess, a little nerve-wracking, but at the same time, very, very fun.
A fascinating conversation. I mean, I
can listen to him all night.
All of them.
Yes.
I mean, every week I keep saying that, but I learned so much. I know sometimes probably they're like, that was a dumb question, but you know, I love that their openness to answer anything and everything, and I learned so much. I feel like they really open up the doors into what's going on, and there's not a lot of coach speak. I feel like they really educate every week, but yeah, that full podcast is out right now. I mean, it was a 30-minute podcast. I was only a small portion of it, so you can listen to it now on our podcast platforms or on our YouTube channel right now.
I loved his answer about Becca. I love her, and then I don't like her.
I mean, he said a lot of really fascinating things about her, but just, you know, that she's just so cerebral, and that's what's helped her game grow so much, is that she wants to know why. Like, okay, well, why do I do this? And sometimes he's just like, well, just do it. But no, well, I want to know why, and that's what helps her learn. Some people are wired that way. So
the other night, you know, they throw balls into the crowd and stuff, and she took one over and gave it to Josiah.
Aww.
Handed her brother
precious
a ball the other night.
It's precious.
Basketball teams are practicing now. It's go time. We're going to hear from Amy Williams on Thursday night. Can't wait for that. Folks, Woodhouse Auto Family, they are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. We're back to wrap up tonight's show next.
While some seed companies put a greater stake in stock prices and anonymous shareholders, Rob Seco knows that what's important to you hits closer to home. That's why you'll find we're focused on your needs. With a simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, a relationship that makes it easy to connect with anyone in the company, and the technology, traits, and genetics you need from any source. Put your stock in the company that puts you first. Rob Seco.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground-truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Bring even more action to your drive when you purchase your next vehicle at Woodhouse Buick GMC. Right now, you can lease the 2023 Buick Encore GX for $299 a month for 39 months, 10,000 miles per year. Explore our current inventory in-store or online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com. We are professional grade. With approved credit, $1,000 down payment, first payment at $299 doc fee, due at signing, must have current GMC or Buick leasing garaging address. Offer expires 7/31/23. See dealer for details.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
There's room at the table, saving you money on every gallon at a CVA fuel site. Central Valley Ag offers a 5-cent per gallon discount at the pump to CVA fuel card holders. Now, for a limited time, get a 5-cent discount and be entered to win 2 VIP tickets to a Husker football game when you get a new or additional CVA fuel card. Sign up to win at CVAcoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
We are back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you here on a Tuesday. The crossover seasons are about to begin. Today was a busy day in the press room because they had Amy Williams, then John Cook, then Fred Hoiberg, and then Marcus Satterfield, then Tony White. I mean, it was, and then they brought a couple players, I think. I mean, it was a busy day.
Didn't Coach Cook come yesterday? Yes.
He's on Tuesdays now.
Oh, so he was today too.
So it was Amy, then John, then Fred, and then Marcus, Tony, and then players.
Oh my God.
The media was up there for like 3 hours today.
Yeah, that's a lot. But
doesn't it seem early for basketball practice to be starting September? What is today? 26th?
Oh, the end of September. It normally starts like beginning of October, right?
42 days before they play a real game. That seems like a long time.
Yeah, I mean, but basketball basically practices year-round now anyways.
They do.
It's kind of like the NBA. They're kind of year-round too. So
yeah,
it's kind of, basketball's a year-round game now.
But we'll hear from Amy Williams on Thursday. Looking forward to that. Tomorrow night, we're going to hear from Josh Banderas, who filled in for Jeremiah this week because Jeremiah is out hunting.
Can we please, how have we gone this whole show and not mentioned the epic performance from Sam Hoiberg recreating his dad's classic Iowa State dance moves?
Great. And Alexis Markowski played the perfect off
All
part
of it
that.
was like perfect to a T.
Really cool. If you haven't seen it, folks, go look for it. It got posted on social media earlier today.
And Sam actually posted the side-by-side. So where you could see how it matches up perfectly. I remember that commercial.
You do?
Yes.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
But really well done. And again, that Husker Hoops event, Friday night, PBA. Both teams are going to be introduced. I think you're going to have some three-point shooting contest. And then DDG. Here we go.
I almost said, when Amy asked me about it, I almost said DGG. So I'm glad she's DDG.
Camden, great work. Back tomorrow night. We have 2 hours. John Cook will take over hour 2 tomorrow night. Have a great night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
There's a call on the field for a quality seed specific to where you farm. Make the right call with Prairie Valley. With local research in 8 regions throughout Nebraska, Prairie Valley performs with their locally specific hybrids and varieties while achieving the highest quality and yield. No matter where you farm in Nebraska, Prairie Valley has the seed for where you are. Find a local dealer and learn more about the seed for where you are at prairievalleyseeds.com.
We could tell you all about what makes Ford F-Series the #1 trucks in America for 46 straight years. But why tell you when we could show you instead? Because in the Midwest, talk is cheap and actions speak. on the lake, on the job, or on the town. Choose the trucks that deliver on the claims. Ford F-Series is made for the real world. This is Chiefs Kingdom. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $3,750 bonus cash on F-150 XLT. Official truck of the Kansas City Chiefs.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day-by-day donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel.